regarding the Desmosedici GP25, who is lying between Marc Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia. In an interview with Sky Sport Italia, Ducati course general manager Luigi Dall'igna was asked if Bagnaia and Marquez's comments about the GP25 had a middle ground. If not, did one of them lie? Asked the reporter from Sky Sport Italia. Then Ducati boss Gigi Dall'igna answered in a subtle language. He gave us an illustration for our own analysis. Who did the fastest lap time in the race? Said Gigi Dall'igna, pointing to the fact that Bagnaia was the one who did it in the Dutch MotoGP race even though he didn't win. As usual, the one who wins will be happy, and because only one wins, the other 20 riders are clearly not so happy. There must be a job to be done by Pecco. I think we are doing it and proving it. However, beyond the comments of someone who has not won and is perhaps disappointed hoping to win, I think we have to see the glass half full. That is, seeing the situation as a potential for development. We must always be positive and see the positive things that we do. I repeat, the fastest lap in the race is not a coincidence, concluded Gigi Dall'igna with a slight smile. Listening to Gigi Dall'igna's words, it seems that the Ducati boss is hinting that Pecco is lying about the GP25's performance. So what do you guys think? Pecco Bagnaia admitted that he still had difficulty fitting in with the Desmosedici GP25 after finishing third in the main MotoGP race in the Netherlands at the Assen circuit. Bagnaia also said that his partner, Marc Marquez, was indeed more adept at taming the motorbike, as evidenced by his victory. I feel, for the first time this season, my speed is among the strongest throughout the weekend. However, in the race, I finished in the same position as usual. I experienced more or less the same difficulties. I was able to fight in the early laps, but then felt a slight decrease in front grip which was quite disturbing in the middle of the race. Then I was able to be fast again, said Pecco Bagnaia in a press conference interview. It was for this reason that Bagnaia was amazed by Marquez's performance, who was able to hold off Bezzecchi until the finish on the same bike as him. Anyway, Marc did a fantastic job with this bike. I had more difficulty finding the balance with this bike because I know exactly how last year's bike worked, Bagnaia continued. We just have to take the positives. For the second weekend in a row, I was fast enough to fight and attack in the early laps. I'm pretty sure that the gap is not too far and we are getting closer, said Rossi's protégé Pecco Bagnaia. Marc Marquez faces two of the most unfavorable Grands Prix on the MotoGP calendar, at least when viewed from his results in the Honda era. The Italian MotoGP at Mugello, where he only won once in the 2014 season, and the Dutch MotoGP at Assen, where the 8-time world champion himself showed that his main rivals started the race faster. The atmosphere at Ducati on Sunday was second to none, as reflected by David Tardozzi, the factory team principal. The Italian manager gave his initial assessment of the race to the microphones of DAZN España, where he gave praise to the rider number 93. I am very happy. Marc has done a champion's race, as it is. And a big round of applause also for Bezzecchi, who was very fast. And we are very happy to see Pecco on the podium again, said David Tardozzi, praising the winners at the Dutch MotoGP last week. I think Marc has found a special confidence with his bike, and you can expect him to fight for victory at every circuit, said David Tardozzi with a smile. In addition to the maturity given by the suffering of the last few years, he has the talent and the mind to manage every race. I am sure that now he is more ready to win at all circuits. Of course, everyone always has weaknesses. But the professionalism that Marc Marquez showed in working with the engineers is the most important, said David Tardizzi, who was amazed by Marc Marquez's performance. Gigi Dall'igna spoke to Sky Sports yesterday to discuss the weekend in Assen, the Netherlands. Marc Marquez scored 2 more wins last weekend in Assen, adding 37 points to his World Championship points tally. However, Pecco Bagnaia managed to get on the podium again on Sunday, as the Italian rider was always in great form. Gigi Dall'igna was satisfied with his weekend in the Netherlands, also considering Alex Marquez's injury yesterday. I have to say I'm very happy with Pecco's weekend, Gigi Dall'igna began. He certainly approached it with much more positivity than other weekends. I have to say I think he had a great race, he was fast in the race, he caught up, he made some overtakes. So I think we are on the right track to see the real Pecco, said Gigi Dall'igna, praising Bagnaia's development. On the other hand, Gigi Dall'igna supported both riders equally. Dall'igna was happy with Bagnaia's continued improvement, and praised Marc Marquez for being able to manage his race with his Ducati GP25. So I want to say that it is true that Marc had a little more advantage, compared to the rider in second place, Bezzecchi, but Marc was able to win it. But the World Championship is still long, and there is still a lot of work to do before we lift the trophy to heaven, said Gigi Dall'igna with a sweet smile. Jorge Martin claims to have activated a performance clause to be free of contract. But Aprilia denies and rejects this because Martin has only competed in 1 race this season. His manager insists that Martin remains free to choose a team for 2026. However, the statement was immediately responded to firmly by Carmelo Ezpeleta on Sunday morning, which seemed to be a signal of support for Aprilia and a major obstacle for Jorge Martin. As Dorna, together with the MSMA, Manufacturers Association, and IRTA, Teams Association, we will not accept the registration of a rider to the World Championship if he is not free, either by court decision or by mutual agreement, Carmelo Ezpeleta told Sky Sport Italia.